Welcome to Magi Monday with a very special guest. My name's Andrea Blythe, Traveling Magi, and I'm here with one of my very favorite people in the world, my Six of Clubs daughter, Miss Nora, who is appropriately wearing her U of U t-shirt where she is going to be studying psychology. And that really is why I wanted to have her on as my guest. It is the 6th week of summer season, and it's represented by the Six of Clubs. And let me just give you, I don't know how much I share with you about the six side of you. But as I have shared here before, that when it comes to the Magi, this is a card science system that is based on the solar energy of your birthday. So based on your birthday, that solar energy, you have a card. And my daughter here happens to be a Capricorn Jack of Diamonds. So this is her secondary energy, the Six of Clubs, known as the card of intuition. It is all about the mind. The clubs represent the mind, our thoughts, the way that we connect intuitively, how we communicate. All of that is wrapped into the suit of the clubs, and the 6 is the karmic number of fate. So this is the card of intuition. How would you say that you are, like, when I say intuition, what does that mean to you as an 18-year-old?
Well, when you say intuition, I think of like gut feeling, like something indescribable that you just feel, and there's no really factual evidence to back it up. It's just something in your nervous system, something in all the wiring in your brain that gives you some sort of instinct to react to a situation.
Absolutely. And that's something that she is born with, this signature energy. So you might not even be aware, compared to your siblings, that you might have that gut, like you just know something before your siblings know it. And you just know something as you're making decisions, as you're navigating. Because really, whenever we have the Six of Clubs in our reading, if we don't have it as a main energy like it is for my daughter, that when you have it in your roadmap, it could give you a heightened period where actually I'm having a Six of Clubs day today. When I woke up and I saw my card, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because we've been trying to figure out, in the midst of summer travel and getting ready to go off to college, when are we going to film this? And I wanted to invite her on. And we tried a couple days.
Yep.
And then this morning I saw this card and I was like, that's just so cool. I'm having a Six of Clubs day here with my Six of Clubs daughter, talking about how this card shows up for you. So if you have it, it could give you greater access on the days or the planetary periods to your intuitive gifts, that knowing that she just talked about. Like, you can't describe it, you just feel it somewhere. And so for you, you feel your intuition, you feel it like literally in your gut.
Yep.
In your gut, that you're being led something or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then 6s are known as karmic numbers. So the other side of this for you would be to be aware that because this has so much to do, the clubs have so much to do with how we communicate, that if you're out of some sort of alignment in the way that you're communicating with somebody, how quickly your life events are going to pull you back into balancing. So you have an incredible responsibility with your word and how you share with others and how you communicate with others. The other part about a 6, besides that karmic number, is if you have it in your roadmap, and again, it's very different if this is your life card energy versus in your roadmap, but anytime you have a 6, whether it's heart, club, diamond, or spade, the 6s are purpose finding. It will indicate a period of finding your true purpose, a year of finding your purpose, and really growing you towards balancing your karmic energies. And it's not always a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very peaceful card. So when you're in a state of just peace, you know that your karmic balance is in check. Now, here's something I don't think she knows yet, but one of your spirit karma in this lifetime is the 8 of Spades. The 8 of Spades can be seen as a very powerful work card, but it is also a power card. So it is said, and I'm wondering if you feel this at all at age 18, it is said that people of 6 of clubs can have like this desire to control and to be in power, and perhaps that in previous lives, the karma that you're working through is to balance that power, to not be the I want to say power abuser, but kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like not abusing your power, with great responsibility, or great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
So do you feel at all powerful? Have you ever felt?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like growing up as even the only girl in the household, I felt like I had power that my siblings didn't have. And yeah, I've always liked being in charge, to put it lightly, bossy, some people might put it. I just call it decisive.
Decisive.
Honestly. But yeah, I mean, everything I want to do in my field, like, want to be the, like, CEO of myself, you know what I mean?
Right,
So.
right, yeah. And so that you innately, not just through this card, but through your karma, you are a powerful human being, and that you have that. And so it's just always being aware of how you are with your power.
Yeah.
And specifically because this is the suit of the club and communication and mind and thoughts, the power of your thoughts and how you communicate with other people is really important, or it'll balance back. But she's also an 8 on the Enneagram, right? 8 and
Yes.
3, like very high
Yes.
achieving. She is a Capricorn. So, there are lots of influences that create a bigger spectrum around, like, it's not all 6 of clubs people are not the same. I mean, you're a 6 of clubs, Jack of diamonds. So
Yep.
that already is a different signature. And you're a Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn. So you have like this drive to do. Your other karma card is the 2 of diamonds. And so that is a partnership in work. So you might, as you go off and study psychology and take off in your career, you might find that working with another person, partnering up, will be beneficial for you throughout your life.
Yeah.
Having that partnership and and what you offer. I normally do the birthdays. I normally read them out loud, and I forgot
That's
to
okay.
get my book of birthdays. So they'll all be listed below. There are quite a few birthdays born of the 6 of clubs. And then the other thing that I typically do is share about famous people. But since I don't have birthdays and I don't have the famous people, I just have this one amazing thing right here. Do you have any questions about the Magi and how, and maybe Magi and how it relates to psychology, or any questions at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, you touched on it a little bit. I think when I hear someone read about my card or what I have in my lineup, what I'm curious of is how can I use it for good and how can I overtake the bad? Like,
I like how you say overtake too, like, rah.
like,
Yeah.
what to be careful of, cautious of with
Excellent.
these cards.
Excellent. Because every card, and so the high side of the 6 is that, is for this card specifically, is the intuitive gifts, like trusting your intuition. So how do you trust? How do you, and sometimes I think that we just learn to trust in the small ways when we act on that intuitive hit that maybe, these shadows are so awesome. That intuitive hit that we have, like to go left instead of go right, and then just journal about it. So some of it is like specific to your card, and I know you're speaking more generally, but specific to the 6 of clubs, being like, how do we trust our intuition, I think is a big part of it. And it's in the small everyday decisions of life, and seeing what happens when we make a choice that is outside of what we would normally do, and then reflect back, like, how did that show up? How did that support me? Was it a good decision? Or, did it lead to, avoiding an accident? Or did it, take us to a chance encounter with somebody that we wouldn't have met otherwise if we hadn't taken that? But specifically from a bigger angle, I also still want to address the low side. I think the low side of these karmic cards are handled in a lot of ways by universal forces. And I think 6s are a little bit different in that regard. Of course, our mind and the thoughts that we think has a lot to do with it. But for 6s, it really feels like, because they are associated with the number of karma, they're associated with the planet Saturn, they are all about, like, it's gonna correct itself. There's not a whole lot that you need to do to for the low side of the sixes is that karmic repercussion.
Yeah.
You know, tit for tat, yin for, you know,
you get
all
that,
that.
you get that.
Yeah, exactly. But generally speaking, on other cards, like, you know, your brother, who might be on next week, stay tuned, or your Oma, the 7 of clubs, you know, they have a real high and a real low side of that. And so whenever you have like a 7 in your roadmap, that is where the work really is. 7s are such a spiritual card of looking to the higher perspective, like off planet, outside planet Earth, away from, you know, the stress and the overwhelm and the fear and the anger, because that's all earthly stuff. So we can get pulled down into the low side. So every card has a high and a low side, and knowing what they are is the work that I do.
Right.
For sure, when I do soul roadmap readings with people, is indicate and ask the questions like, where are you at? Like, how have you been? Have you been responsible with your language? Have you been have you been clear with how you're communicating? Are you using your words as power to get what you want and not thinking beyond, you know, your egoic self? So it's often a much bigger picture of how do I access, and what is the number indicating what are the highs and what are the lows? What are the highs and what are the lows? And that's the hope with all of this series, is that you can go back and you can see over time, like, oh, I've got, say, a 4 of hearts. And so you can go back to the 4 of hearts video and understand, well, what are the highs of the 4s and what are the lows of the 4s? And just for an example, the high is really grounded, practical, clear, protective. And the low is maybe a little too structured, a little too in the box. And maybe you need to think outside of that. So that would be an example of a high and a low. Did that answer your question? Yeah. And what are you most excited about when you think about your future and studying psychology?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting to have the opportunity to study something I'm super passionate about. I just have a craving to learn and pick through people's brains. I think it's fascinating. So I'm just excited to learn more.
Yeah, spoken like a club, because all clubs have that desire to learn. They're the lifelong learners. Knowledge and wisdom is definitely wrapped into that suit. And when she started talking about shifting away from a more practical approach of perhaps business and marketing, which is very much on her Jack of Diamonds nature, and leaning in towards the psychology, I was just like, oh yes, this would be so good for her, because I know that the mind is, and the study of the mind, you have a lot of access to your intuition and how to help people through like a true, like you'll get the cerebral academic understanding, but then you also have this flowing side of just a knowingness of what to say or what not to say, and how to help and how to help guide people. So this
Exciting
is it.
stuff.
Well, thank you for tuning in to this jungle version of Magi Monday. Thank you for your grace in the filming circumstances as I just do my best. Agreement number 4, do my best to share this wisdom every week. And even if that looks like us being in the jungles to talk about this club.
Thanks for tuning in.
And then we always want to say, you know, like and subscribe and share.
Comment below.
Anything else? Go Utes.
Go Utes.
And you will hear more of her adventures, I hope. Maybe you'll come back next season when we're in the suit of the diamonds and be my Jack of Diamonds guest.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to another Magi Monday. Here is to love and joy in the journey. Ciao for now.
Bye.